What is going on, guys? It's Maticus4205 with the official Gun Network YouTube channel. I am here with the first of hopefully many episodes of what is soon to be the Rewinder podcast. Basically, what this is going to be, it's going to be me reviewing games, game news, and interviewing some people, hopefully with other members of the Rewinder team if we ever decide to recruit anymore, or if some volunteer. That would be really awesome. Either way, it's definitely something that I've been looking forward to working on ever since I took over the channel, and it's going to be amazing. So tonight is actually the first interview that we're doing. I am joined by a gunner by the name of TheRatDragon, who to me is known as Matt. We both share the first name, which is really weird. So go ahead and introduce yourself there, man.
Hey guys, what's up? It's finally good to reveal my voice. I've wanted to do this for a while, so thanks for letting me join, Matt. Take it
Hey,
away.
it's no problem at all, man. I'm glad to have you here. Small disclaimer, though, we are having technical issues with Matt's mic. As you can hear, there is a bit of ringing. That is mainly because he's using an iPhone little earbud with the mic
Earbuds.
attached.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have any other mic, so I don't.
So if we decide to do another interview, or if I decide to get him to join in, like share his opinions on certain things, then hopefully somewhere down the line we'll have better equipment to do this.
Apologies about that, guys. But anyways, take it away.
All right, so I guess the first question would be, just who is the Rat Dragon? Who is Matt?
So, let's start with the real life part. My name is Matthew, full name. It doesn't matter if it's Matt or Matthew. I come from Los Angeles, California. Was born in the late 90s, so I guess you can call me a millennial. Um, so what else is interesting about me? Well, I'm 19. I'm in college right now, and I'm trying to become a Marine. Currently a pulley, and I've enlisted, and that's real life. Rat Dragon was a name I actually came up with back about 6 years ago, and it was a funny joke at first that my friends came up with, but I told them to come up with three different words without any similarities between them, and to combine them together. I didn't have a gamer name at the time on PC, so they gave me that name, and it's stuck ever since.
Right on. That's probably one of like the more interesting origin stories of a gamer tag that I've ever heard of. To be honest, like usually people are like, "Oh, it's inspired by my favorite character," or it's because of a book I read. Nah, you got your friends to fucking name you. That is pretty cool.
And I'm still friends with those guys 5, 6 years later. So
That's
we
pretty
still talk
awesome.
from time to time. Not real life friends, online friends. So
I guess the next question would be, what what actually inspired you to join the Corps? Like what dawned on you saying like, hey, maybe joining the Marines is probably the better choice for me right now.
well, a lot of people have told me you're not fit for it. You're just a spoiled upper middle class kid. While I come from an upper middle class family, I'm not spoiled. I'm anything but. I pay for my own clothes, or I mean, my mom gets my own clothes, but I pay for my own gasoline for my car. I pay for my own video games. It's one of the reasons why I can't get a headset right now, because I just paid a lot of money for some games that I wanted to pre-order. Um, One of the reasons why I wanted to join the Corps was because I've seen a lot of the legends of this country, and they've inspired me. And the Corps' main values are loyalty, uh, equality, and heroism. And they're warriors. And ever since I was a child, when I used to watch the videos about the Iraq War in the news, I would see the Marines, and always they would have this insignia about them. They were warriors. You can't mess with them. No better friend, no worse enemy. And so I'm in college right now, and it's a far cry compared to the Corps. And I just really, really appeals to me. Not college, but I still want to go through college eventually. But it's just not a good fit for me right now, and I think the Corps is. So,
I'm checking. So with you joining the Corps, what exactly do you aspire to be your MOS?
0311, so that is infantry rifleman.
Right on.
So.
Do you plan on going to? Do you plan on expanding that? Maybe going to OCS or probably becoming like a drill instructor?
Well, I would like to become a sergeant, because at the pulley functions, even though I'm new, multiple people have told me that I'm a natural leader, and they're even trying to nominate me to become squad leader right now, not guide for the RSS, but squad leader, and I'm really excited about that because I think it's possible to become a sergeant, but I would like to at least reach sergeant, but no, not drill instructor, no other stuff. I would just like to possibly do 8 years, 4 years active, 4 years reserve, and then continue my life, I guess. So I love this country and love everything about it. And while it has its own issues, I still love it regardless. And this is my way of saying those exact words.
All right, cool. Right on, right on. Glad to hear that. I mean, usually, for me personally, like whenever I talk with somebody who is like thinking about joining the military or is already in the military, one of the things that they say that one of the reasons why they say they went is because it was just something like really drew them in there. Like everybody is different. Like oh the familiarity or the belonging or the brotherhood, stuff like that. Everybody's reason for
That
joining was always different.
that's also one of the reasons too. Ever since I can't walked into the RSS back in January, I've made more friends and felt more belonging in somewhere than I ever have in my entire life. That's an issue I've always had. I've never felt like I've belonged anywhere. I've never fit in anywhere, so to speak. So it's really, really liberating to be a part of, even though we're just poolies at the moment. We're not recruits. We're not even Marines. We're just future Marines. It's a brotherhood, and we take care of our own. And I feel like I belong for the first time. So.
Right on. So, just walk me through it, dude. When you first got to MEPS, like, what was your first reaction?
This shit's scary. You got a bunch of people uh, telling you to take your shirt off, take your shoes off. Yeah, you can't make one mistake. If you say, I'm gonna be quite frank. I'm a very honest person. I don't lie, and I don't like lying. But at MEPS, you kind of had to, or else you would have to come back the next day, regardless if you told them that you had a bruise on your knee. If you told them you had a bruise on your knee, they'd say, "Oh, that's not on the records," and they'd shove you out. So it's kind of imperative to stick to your story at MEPS uh, but don't lie, of course. If you have done drugs or something like that, God forbid, do tell about that because that will affect your performance. And I was with this is a funny story. I was with somebody at MEPS in the hotel, and whatever happened that night, he must have gotten. This is.
Hang on, I'll drop.
Can I say this? Because it's not safe for work. I don't know if I can say this.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? Yeah,
All right, so
don't go like full,
I'm not.
18
I won't
plus.
go full. Yeah, but he did the deed. He hit the sack, and so not like full on thing, but just like well, how do I say it? He ejaculated. I'll just say that.
Oh, well, okay, okay, yeah, that's fine.
All right, so
It happens.
yeah, I
That's
want to
nature.
get straight to the point. Yeah, so we were in the same room. We shared a room that night, so I heard him do the deed in the bathroom and stuff. But the next day when we were at MEPS, a lady was taking blood from him and noticed an increase in something or whatever, and she told him, "Did you do this last night?" And he said, "Yeah, I did it." And she's like, "Get the hell out right now. You're not eligible. Come
Oh
back
God.
the next time." And he's like, but I just went through everything to get here. And he's trying to argue with the lady. She's wearing, I think she was an airwoman. She was wearing an Air Force uniform. And so she was, yeah, and he left. All because so words of inspiration or words of advice to those who are going to go to MEP. Don't jack off. Don't, and don't do anything stupid, basically. And follow every single thing to the T. Everything to the word. And don't ever argue with them.
I guess even like if it sounds weird or just abnormal, just don't worry about it. Just go ahead and do it.
Yep.
So. Right on. All right, so this one might be a little bit more personal. So since I was put on staff, certain details about your activities have come to light. Now, I don't. Are you comfortable with talking about your situation?
I'm comfortable with talking about any situation, to be honest with you.
All right, so you were banned from Gun Network, correct?
That is correct.
What exactly were the details leading up to that?
Well, what happened is during the holidays, I kind of got a bit. I saw a video about Project B42, and I saw a few screenshots of what was it? What's that guy's name? I forgot his name.
Which one?
He does a bunch of armors in gun community.
That's that, I think, Dragbody, right?
Dragbody, yes, that's him. And I also saw some picture or some of Asura's. Around that time too, the leak of Asura's reanimation pack came out. Now I don't know if I think she's a she, so I'm just gonna refer to her as a she.
I honestly wouldn't know. To be fair. I don't know.
I'm in a Discord with Asura, so multiple actually. But she released her pack recently, so congratulations on it, by the way. But what happened is that leak happened, and it kind of destroyed. She said she wouldn't continue the mod, and I had my own Discord at the time, which was specializing in mod collection. There wasn't a Discord around this time to collect mods to keep them from disappearing. For an example, a lot of good mods like the Destruction Overhaul Reloaded mod, which I had downloaded about 3 years ago, had disappeared. The author took it down. And while we didn't have the author's permission, it's still imperative to keep these mods. We weren't distributing them, we were merely keeping them, and if anybody wanted them, we made them promise not to leak them. And so what happened was, it was a mod collection Discord. We kept mods. We made sure they wouldn't disappear. One of my colleagues who I told, who I don't know if his name is Boop. He's known as a bit of a mod leaker. But I told him the only way I would do mod collection is if no leaking is allowed. He wanted me to start a Discord with him. So I said okay. He said okay, and we agreed. He put an invite on a Discord invite on the Mod Piracy Discord, and I was furious. This was also around the time that I saw the Project B42, but that'll come later. So he put an invite, and a bunch of people started joining, and that was the Mod Piracy Discord. A few, I didn't know it at the time, but a few gun staff members joined the Discord as well, and thought that it was a Mod Piracy Discord. It was not. I never intended it for it to be so. I was never a pirate. I never leaked any mods. But here's where it gets, where I'm sort of incriminated, and the reason why I was banned. So I saw a video of Project B42 multiple about the bows and arrows, and it's kind of a mod where he just shows it off. 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, I saw, this was just recent, I saw a post on Gun Network about Project B42, and a member who's not a colonial, he was just an established, he asked when it will be released, and the author of the mod, who I forgot his name now, he said he would be released around the time Fallout 4 came out. Fallout 4 came out 3 years ago, guys. 2015, 16, 17, 18, yeah, 3 years ago. And so then I was just looking at this thread recently, and I kind of realized it wouldn't be surprising if somebody leaked it, because it is it's a mod that shows up. The author doesn't want to release the mod. I don't think the mod's ever going to be released, personally. And so I had posted in the Discord, unaware of the consequences it might have, that maybe it should be leaked. It should be leaked, just straight up. And I also said Dragbody sometimes has it in for him because he does release screenshots of mods. And while now I'd say that he doesn't deserve it, it's still, I do believe that mods should not be shown off without at least some sort of leak or some sort of link to download it and try it out for yourself. Mods on games, you can't just, show them off and not expect people to ask questions about when they might come. Now, it's understandable for a mod like the Frontier or a mod like Fallout New California to be shown off because they're trying to work on it. It's a work in progress. But if you're just, and they have a promise that they're gonna release it, these modders they promise and then they break the promise. So, around that time too, I was suffering from a addiction, drinking, and I had a bit too much alcohol because one of my neighbors gave alcohol to my parents. My parents gave me some, and I got a little too aggressive, and that's when I said those things too. Still doesn't excuse the fact that I said those things, but I'm still in the firm belief that that mods, if you're gonna show them off, don't show them off because people are gonna want to leak them. And unfortunately, I was in the position of those people that night. But I am as a person now that is clean and serene. I hold the position that no mod should be leaked, regardless, unless, like I said, it's shown off. Then you're gonna expect that stuff to come. So you're kind of expecting that stuff to come.
Right.
It's like dangling a piece of bread to a homeless person or to a dog. They want it. They're gonna look back and forth. It's like teasing. It's not right. And so while I do believe these mods should not be leaked, they're kind of asking for it. So, yeah. So no, I am not a leaker. Those rumors, while I did leak 2 mods when I was aware that I was banned. About 20 seconds after I put them up, I put them down because I realized my mistakes. Before that, I had never leaked a mod or leaked anything for that matter in my entire life. The rumors that I am a pirate and a drunk. While I was a drunk for a certain time, I'm not a pirate, and I'm not drunk anymore. And I'm joining the Marines, and I'm trying to put that life away behind me. And yeah, and I apologize to all those who I affected in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, so just going off of that, based on decisions that you made during that situation, if there's anything that you would want to do differently, what exactly would that be?
Break that bottle. That's what I would do. I would also, what else? It kind of troubles me thinking about it. They're bad memories.
I got you, no worries.
I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have said those things because I realized the impact I had on the community. I was just a colonial, sure. But when Diva, I was banned, so I couldn't see the post that Toxic made, who was also banned and who was also in my Discord. Thank you to him as well because he led the way for me to be unbanned. But he too was also furious, and while he broke the rule about the accounts, having more than one account, he had to because he didn't have any contact. But for me, I contacted Diva, and I fully realized the scope of my impact on the community when he said that Toxic and I were 2 of his favorite community members, or were, and I realized then that TRD was me, stupid meme, and who else would it be? And yeah, so I would not have done this. I wouldn't have said those things, though my opinion would still matter. My opinion would still be the same. besides the leaking part, no mod should be leaked. But especially if they're coming to gun and putting it in the private section and want only a certain amount of people to test it. But just don't show off those mods. Don't show off those private mods because that's kind of, I don't know, teasing.
A guy who looks like the assistant to El Cheeto's agent.
I'm in the firm belief that don't tease, but don't leak either. But if you're gonna tease, you kind of have it coming. To be honest with you.
Okay, I understand that, but with the teasing aspect, I mean, let me ask you a question. So, say that you were making a project, right, and you wanted to generate interest. How exactly would you want to generate interest if you couldn't release, like, say, a teaser, like a teaser trailer?
Screenshots, videos, but I would also probably give them a little taste of it too. I wouldn't just give them screenshots.
But wouldn't the video also kind of be like a tease, like I said, like teaser trailer?
Besides a video, I would give them a couple of things I've been working on. If I don't have something to give, then I'm not going to show it. So it's a mod. It's not a game. You don't really, once you release it, you know, you'll have people downloading it. But if I have a part of the mod complete, say I have a weapon pack I'm working on. I'm not a modder, by the way. I can never do this stuff because I don't have patience for it. But say I was working on a weapon pack and I wanted to release a little bit of a taster, I would give that out along with a trailer and a video, or a trailer, screenshots, to generate interest. I wouldn't just give screenshots and a video. I would give them a bit of a taster, just as people are in grocery stores. Certain grocery stores will have tasters, and then you have the option to buy the whole box, the product itself.
Right.
So, yeah. So
Okay.
I am in the firm belief that they should release a certain, like a teeny bit, just to keep the interest up. So, but not enough to you know, warrant a leaking per se, to you know, to keep their fans interested. So.
Gotcha.
People will disagree with me about this, obviously, but
right, but these are your opinions. It's perfectly
yes,
fine.
this is my opinion. So. But like I said, I am the same person, obviously, but I am in the firm belief that while I disagree with my former self about having leak mods, don't leak mods, because just don't do that. But you're breaking a rule. But also, you should not be teasing populations with that type of stuff.
Okay. So going off of that, what what are your overall opinions of the Gun Network and the staff itself?
I am 100% in favor of Gun Network. Gun Network is awesome. I've met awesome people here. The staff are completely amazing. I do have some complaints, though, some criticisms, if I may.
Go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things I would say is Gun Network should kind of get rid of the rule about the one account thing. If you've been banned, you should make a new account, because how else are you supposed to contact the dev, or not the devs, the staff, and appeal your ban? Second, there should be a ban appealing section for those who do want to appeal their ban and feel that they've been unjustly banned. Third, I do believe that there should be more staff members to sort of represent the bigger community. I've heard that there's about 80,000 members on Gun. Is that correct?
I think we're on the verge of like a midway point, so I would say about 85 to 86,000.
All right, 85,000. About maybe, I'd say 500 or 1,000 are active every week or so, but there could be more. I'm just making guesses here. You take 1,000 people, you got 13 or 15 people to represent them in the staff. And I don't think that's enough. But then we have the Members Council, which I'm a part of. And the Members Council, while it's effective in its own way, still does not represent the whole opinion of Gun. And I think that there should be more staff members to represent the huge number of Gun members.
Okay.
But most of those accounts are just accounts made to download the public mods. In fact, when I joined Gun, it was meant for, I only meant it to download the public mods, like the NTR overhaul. that Dragbody put out, which was an awesome mod, by the way. Kudos to him. But yeah, I do believe that there should be more representation, especially to those who might feel like their opinion does not matter.
Gotcha. All right, so let's say that you yourself were actually put on the staff. If you were to make some suggestions as to like what kind of changes that gun could use, what would be your top three essentially?
More power to the community. So like a democracy sort of. Well, gun is kind of a democracy now. I was banned not because I had leaked the mod, but because I had suggested to leak a mod, and that's kind of saying you're guilty before proven unguilty, not guilty. And I think that personally, the staff should, until there is proven evidence, it should be a guilty until proven otherwise, until proven not innocent. And Toxic and I were banned because we had said that a mod should be illegal. We never broke the rule. I broke the rule after I had found out I had been banned, but only temporarily. But I had been banned for a couple of days before I found out, just because I had said that I wanted that a mod should be illegal. There should be more power to the people. So anybody who's a colonial or established should be able to vote on processes that the gun network has. Not just in contests and all that stuff, but they should also be able to participate in things that would affect the community as a whole. For example, rule changes, user group additions, maybe even nominations for what's it called? Not for colonial or but for Purple Hearts, purple people who earn the Purple Heart, or Paladins even. It should be a public thing because yeah. So I'm gonna leave it there. And then my third thing I would do if I was staff is I honestly don't know. I think I would maybe encourage more mod authors to make their private mods become public if they could, because we should have everybody should experience the mods of gun. And in fact, a lot of public mods are the reason why we have so many gun community members. And most of them, while they've come for the mods, a good amount of them have come not just for the mods, but for the community. And I think that we should have a deadline for private mods, and then they should be pushed out and then put into, or a version should be put into the public section. And then
Okay,
while a private version,
so like kind of like a light version of the private mod.
Yes.
Okay.
And then while the mod author can give the private version, a full version, to the public, or to the private, the colonials and stuff, a light version should be made by a certain deadline. And if they don't, they have to take their mod down entirely. So
that isn't
sort
fair.
Of, what do you mean?
Like, so basically, what you're saying is like if they don't build like a small little public version just to get like some I guess like an audience slightly to show some anticipation, that you wouldn't host their mod like after a certain deadline.
I worded it wrong. I'm sorry. So okay, a deadline. So say I put my private mod up in January. Now, if you don't come up with a public mod, say by May or June, there should you should have a shit. I'm running out of words. You should come up with it. Come up with at least a light version, and then if not, what's it called? I don't know. I guess so. Yeah. I know it sounds unfair, but basically, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of the private, I've been a colonial. I know some of the mods, and there's been mods there that aren't in the public section that have been there for 4 or 5 years. For an example, there's a mod that allows you to control an RC car, and I never seen that in the public section. And it's in the private section, and the post was made about in 2014. Hold up. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good.
So, yeah. So,
I'll just edit that out.
yeah. So basically, yes. Maybe they should be encouraged to perhaps maybe delay their mod, not take them down, not be banned from putting mods up, but maybe, you know, come back later on. So I don't know. I think it should mean more equality for both non-colonials and colonials.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then. If they were to do that, what's to protect them from, you know, their mods basically just being thrown out there and people claiming that it's their mod?
Well, first off, they would put credit on the page, and then that's one of the reasons why there should be a sort of a taste or a light version, because that way it would discourage leaking for the private mod, because people would have a sort of light version of it. And then, not to mention, you can show the same videos and screenshots from the private version. Say this is just a small part of the bigger mod, but what's it called? Crap, I'm running out of words. I have to think about this further. I just came up with it now, but the basic point is I'm trying to discourage more leaking, and at the same time keep both the non-colonials and the colonials happy. So, for an example, a drag body has 33 armor packs, and only about I've seen maybe 6 public armor packs that have been released, and there's only maybe 3 armors from different packs. There should be more armors released, and this encourages people that are not from Gun to leak the mods if they're colonials, or if they have friends that are colonials, because you don't get the full thing. And they want the full thing, but maybe they should have half of the full thing instead. So, I know it sounds contradictory, but I'm not trying to make it uneven. I'm just saying that there should be public versions of all private mods. Just a small sliver of it, of course.
Awesome.
To encourage community members to become colonials, the non-colonials to become colonials so they can get the full access, and to discourage mod leakers and pirators.
Okay, but going on earlier from the way you worded it, it's almost like you're trying to. I'm not trying to be an ass here. Like this is just me using critical thinking, but it kind of sounds like you're forcing them to basically make a public part of the mod. I mean, if you're doing that, then I don't know where I'm going with this actually. So let me try to word it a little better. So the way you said it is like if they don't make a small light version just to showcase what they're working on, or to draw like an audience, then essentially the mod is going to be removed. This is going off earlier. But going off at
not removed. Removed after a deadline.
Yeah, I know. I was getting to that. But anyway, so if it doesn't showcase, then by the deadline, then it gets removed. But to me personally, it sounds like you're trying to force it upon them. I think that should probably be a choice, because you are going to have those mod authors that generally show concern of their work getting hijacked, which I can understand, and we don't want that. We want it to showcase their creativity, to show what they're working on and what kind of quality that they're building. But if they don't feel like, I guess protected is probably the best way to put it. Like if they don't feel protected or secured on their site, then what's to stop them from leaving and not coming back?
Well, I mean, that's actually a very good point, and that's a good argument against what I'm trying, what I personally would fight for. So I think that what's it called? Mods, your work is being used when it's downloaded. That's there. It's like saying, I'm putting my mod out here. I'm afraid that somebody else is going to take credit and use it. Now, if somebody else takes credit, then what's it called? Of course, you should fight that person. And There's always going to be those people that do that.
Right.
You're never ever safe. But by putting on a light version, say instead of a full weapons pack of 50 weapons, you give 10 weapons out to the public. That would both discourage the leakers, in a way, some of them at least, discourage or encourage more people to join gun, and also that encourages the non-colonials to become colonial. But if they don't feel safe on the internet, if they don't feel safe releasing their work, they shouldn't release it at all then, because your work is going to be downloaded regardless. So, I mean, but this is contradicting the whole point of GUNet. One of the reasons that GUNet exists is because it has a private section for its mod authors. So, while my argument is kind of, it can be valid for some people, especially speaking for people that are non-colonials, the thing is that what was I going to say? People should be able to access the mod regardless. Mods are something that everybody should enjoy. This is my firm belief, and this is nothing will change this. So like I was saying earlier about teasing a mod, you should at least have a sort of a teaser, a taster. You tease somebody, it's going to encourage that leaking, and it's going to encourage that taking of credit. You take that away, and then the mod author has nothing to worry about, and he can continue releasing the private version of the mod to the general public, while he only has to put out the public version once. He doesn't have to do it again. And then if he wants, then he could put on more. He can add on to it, update it some more. But generally speaking, when I remember looking at the mod access section, it says in the description, at least as if I can remember correctly, that these are private mods, and these mod authors are work in progress mods, and that they would like to eventually make them public. So if they're scared about their work being stolen, I mean, they're using a lot of mods on GUNet are using assets from different games.
Right.
And and some games don't allow that. So it could become a copyright issue. And I think that one of the reasons why we have a private section is because they don't want to allow the developers of other games that have had their assets used taken notice. But this is a really hard argument, and I don't know, hard. And I don't want to make people hate me for this, but they're kind of using assets from other games and then taking credit for it. But then they put the credit of the game in the section. How are you supposed to let the authors of the developers of the game know that that's their assets if you're not giving them credit as well? Don't take credit from assets used from other games. Take the credit for your mod and the scripts and the stuff like that and porting it, but also give credit to the devs that developed that mod and use and develop those assets. You feel me? So
yeah, I got you.
So I'm arguing for both sort of the people that are developers and have had their assets used. For an example, the Deadpool mod. I remember watching an NCR Vet video about showcasing the Deadpool armor and the weapons and stuff. And it was really cool. He had a male and female version, and that was used from the Deadpool video game. So so the mod author was using assets from Dragbody, I think, made the armor. He was using assets from a different video game, and basically some game studios, some publishers don't allow that. It's illegal. So I can see why some mod authors would privatize them out, but I also see that they may be it's kind of a sticky situation.
It's a slippery slope by the way you look at it.
It's kind of, on one hand, they're using assets from another game, which can be illegal, but some developers don't care. On the other hand, you have mod authors who are using those assets and then claiming credit for the mods, and then saying that they're scared that they're gonna have their credit taken away. It's really like saying, it's like taking a lollipop from a kid, right? And then that kid's lollipop, he has multiple lollipops. So, but you took his lollipop and then you say it's mine when he paid for it. So yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's a sticky situation regarding mods like that. But I think one of the reasons why not a lot of devs worry about it too much is because not a lot of authors are basically trying to monetize it, which is a good thing. Because I mean, paid mods is just stupid to begin with, which we've seen in the past regarding the whole Skyrim issue. But
exactly.
But going on another point from what you said earlier, basically the way you described it was almost like an ultimatum. It's like if you don't do this, then I won't do this. That's kind of how I felt about the whole situation.
I mean, it might have sounded that way, but I'm not trying to make it sound that way. I'm trying to say it should be a rule. It should be both. It should be to prevent the mod leakers from trying to get the full version and entice someone who would want a taste of that mod, and then also to encourage non-colonials to become colonials, and thus increasing the amount of people we get in gun community. So, I mean, we have more public mods than we do private mods, but still, I mean, it should still be encouraged. Maybe it shouldn't be a rule, but it should be encouraged, almost as if it's an unofficial rule, sort of.
Got it.
Like, like how before we made it a constitutional amendment in the United States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt took 4 presidential terms. He took 4 consecutive terms.
Right.
And the unofficial rule at the time, before Harry Truman took office, was that you can only take two terms, and then you would be voted out. So now it's a constitutional amendment, but before Franklin Delano Roosevelt, it was an unofficial rule. It should be an unofficial rule, maybe. Maybe it shouldn't be less. It should be less of an ultimatum and more of an unofficial rule, if you feel me.
I got you.
So but, while it shouldn't be in the rules, it should be an unofficial rule. Like, maybe you should do this. It should be this.
Right. Right. So entirely, it would be like it's ultimately up to the mod author to take the risk. Like either do this and hopefully it doesn't happen to you, or don't do this and maybe the risk would be greater.
Yes. That's what I was trying to get at. I apologize for all that nonsense.
No, I'm glad we cleared it up, because otherwise this would have been a very, very interesting reprisal.
And not to mention, I was banned for leaking, and quite frankly, I'm trying to find ways to stay unbanned, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this interview right now is to prove to you guys that I am not a bad guy. I'm really, really awesome person if you get to know. I have made mistakes in the past, and I'm not going to shy away from them, and I take full responsibility for the crap I did, but understand that I love Gun Network. I've made friends here, and I'm making new friends as I've gotten unbanned. And even Maddie here, I've made friends with him. And it should be something that should be encouraged. And leakers, and the #1 rule in Gun Network is for no leaking at all. And this would discourage it for sure. I am 100%, because while I had my own Discord and mod pirates were in there, and I was not a pirate myself, I feel like this would discourage a good amount of them, because they only wanted one weapon or one armor out of a pack. A lot of them. Or and when it came to animations, they only wanted one animation out of an animation pack. So a lot of these people just wanted one thing, and if you give them the most popular weapons or armors in your pack, maybe have people vote on it, and then release those armors to the public, and then you can work on your private mod, and then maybe add more armors or weapons as you go on from your private pack onto the public pack.
Hey guys, Maticus4205 here, just giving you a quick heads up. There is a link to our Discord down below. Go ahead, click it, come join us, come chill with us. Be awesome to get to know our viewers, and if you guys got any suggestions for the channel, be sure to leave them down there as well. I'll see y'all around. Alright, guys, we're here with the continuation of episode 1 of the Rewinder podcast. Once again, we are joined by Matt, aka TheRatDragon.
What's up, guys?
Now, going off from what we were discussing, you got some pretty interesting opinions based on Gun. So you've seen the conduct of the staff the last couple of days through certain situations, right?
Yes.
How do you think that they've handled themselves?
I think they've handled themselves accordingly and as they should. They've administered, and I think they're doing a pretty damn fine job with only 15 of them and thousands of people to administrate. So, pretty damn fine job if you ask me.
Okay, and in your own words, go ahead and basically, describe the current situation and what the staff is currently going through right now.
The current situation. Can you elaborate?
Just in general, just like in general, like basically the challenges that the staff has to face with trying to police Gun.
Well, the staff have to face a constant attack by mod piracy. You could see this just by going on the subreddit, and I'm not trying to advertise it at all, but if you go on the subreddit, and you'll see that there are constantly people that were originally from Gun or aren't from Gun are trying to attack and trying to ask and leak mods that they don't have and that they want to have. So, and then the staff has to find these insiders from the mod piracy and ban them because they're breaking the sacred rule of leaking mods. And they also have to administrate 85,000 people. 85,000 people is a lot, but most of these people are accounts that are not used, are lurkers. And I'd say about maybe 5%, maybe less than that. I'd say 2% of that number are active, willing, and contributing members. And I do believe that the staff is doing a fine damn well job, and we should give them more credit than we do. And the staff are constantly bombarded, and they need all the help they can get, and that's why we have a members council to sort of supplement the absence of the voice of the community.
Right on. So for those that aren't familiar with Gun, how would you describe it, like in your own words?
Partitioned or a closed-off partitioned community that is sort of aimed at Fallout PC gamers, but we have other mods like Skyrim, GTA 5 mods, while not as numerous as the Fallout mods that we possess on the website. It is still a community aimed at people who have owned Fallout, who love Fallout, and who love modding Fallout. And but it's also a community aimed towards mostly PC games, but I'd say mostly PC Fallout games. So if you love Fallout, if you love PC gaming, hell, if you want to just join a community, give us a fit, man. If you want to try us out and see how you feel about, you might meet somebody you thought you would never expect that you would get along with. That has happened to me multiple times. So.
And just a quick shameless plug in there. If you are interested in checking out the Gun Network or ever-growing community, there is a link in the description down below. Click that and it'll take you straight to our page. It's free to look at. You don't have to sign up immediately. You can sift through some of the posts and see if it interests you. And it's simply, just a simple click of a button. Just do it.
But if you want to download any mods, you're gonna have to register. So that's
pretty much.
That's why there's a lot of accounts. But anyways, yeah, that's my full-on description of Gun. It's an open community. We don't discriminate. There's no racism. There's no prejudice. We all have our different opinions. While some of us might feel different towards certain genders and certain things, we all have different our differences, but we all encourage diversity. But
right.
We won't be racist towards anybody. Even white people, or even white people. Even though I noticed I was just watching this video, Maddie, if I could digress for a second, and it was about it's okay to be white, and they were saying that it's racism to say it's okay to be white, and that's kind of, excuse my language, but bullshit. And I think that basically regardless of skin color, regardless of gender, regardless of sexual orientation, you are welcome in Gun, and you will be welcomed with full open arms. So, yeah.
Okay, actually, this will probably bring up a pretty good topic. Going off of your experience, just describe your experience as a new member coming into the Gun Network.
Well, I had joined the Gun as originally as a lurker back in what was it, May of 2016, and I did it to download all the public mods that they had because I wasn't really interested in talking to people. I was kind of a asocial person. I'm not anymore. I like to talk to people. I don't lurk anymore. But it took me an entire year to make a post, and I realized I wanted to become a colonial, but I also wanted to become part of the community. So I introduced myself. You could still see my introduction post. It's about maybe 6 pages from the newest page.
Yeah, it's pretty extensive, I think.
It's really, really extensive. You get to know me personally, and you get to know why I'm joining and why it took me so long to post for a year. And yeah, that really kicked. All
right, and I think probably the cherry on top, and probably the final question of the night. So you have shared some words with our overseer, our head overseer DBA, right?
Shared words, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, like you've talked with him on a number of occasions.
I have talked to Diva. I had talked to him, yes.
All right, so just based on your experiences, like, how would you describe him?
An interesting fellow, to say the least.
Could you go into more detail?
But he's straight to the point. He keeps his word. This is not brown nosing. I am speaking of free will and free mind right now.
There's no gun to his head. He's totally fine.
I think when I was trying to get on band, he kind of did beat around the bush a bit, but eventually he got straight to the point, and he kept his word about seeing if I can get on band. And if you talk to him, I'm sure you'll have a pleasant conversation. So just don't get banned because it won't be pleasant. But basically, Diva is I think a fantastic staff member. Somebody who we all should look up to, and he is the founder of the community after all, and we should give him kudos for leading only 15 people against the bulwark of thousands of individuals who have joined again. And some of those individuals are even trying to break the rules of gun. And so we should give him and all the staff members, including you, Maddie, the credit that they deserve, more so than what they get already.
Right on. All right, so I know that was the final question, but we did have one more thing that Brad over here wanted to discuss, just like a small little public service announcement. If you want to talk about that real quick.
Yes. So some of us live in different countries. All of us live in different countries. So most of us, we come from the United States. And there's nothing more divisive in our country right now than politics. That's why I encourage everyone in Gun Network to sort of keep their opinion, or keep the politics at bay. I think there is a forum section called the Dumping Grounds where you can put your opinion on politics, and you have to apply for the user group for access. But Gun Network is supposed to be a community for people to unite. It's a united community, and politics are divisive. And I go to college where I go to a college where it's very, very divisive. And if you have a different opinion from the masses, you get ostracized. Um, hold on a second. I might just fell out. Sorry about that.
You're good.
So basically, we should. I mean, we all have different political opinions. We all come from different countries. Uh, so that's why I encourage for everybody to be nice to their fellow man, their fellow woman, and to remember that some of us have different opinions, but I just don't want to see politics and xenophobia and um, and a lot of differences divide this community instead of uniting it. And we would be making the staff's lives a hell of a lot more uh, worse if that was the case. So yeah,
Right on.
that's all I have to say. So.
Well, that's actually going to do it for the first episode of the Rewinder podcast. Next time, we'll be talking about some more stuff. I don't know yet because I haven't decided what's going to happen with episode 2 or when we're going to record it. But thanks, Matt, for joining us. I'm glad that I actually had the opportunity to interview you. It was actually rather enlightening.
Thank you, Maddie. It was a pleasure and an honor, despite my previous grievances, to sort of explain myself. And to the gun community, thank you for the second chance. I won't let you down. I promise. So
Well,
thank you.
hopefully we see you regain your colonial rank, and it's because from what I've seen, just from your posting alone, I think it's rather well deserved.
Thank you, Maddie. Yeah, I hope so too. But it won't be for mods this time. I just want my colonial back so I can, you know, fully feel like I'm part of this community again. So.
All right. Well, like I said, guys, that's going to do it. Hopefully, we'll see you around on either our live streams or the next episode of the podcast. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you